your eyes finally open. Mother shall be pleased.
Alright, we're back with more Dragon Age Origins. So in the last episode, we killed the ogre at Tower of Ishal and lit the beacon to signal for Dain Logain's armies to flank the Darkspawn. But Dain Logain, instead of flanking the Darkspawn army, he retreated his army, leaving Duncan, the Grey Wardens and King Kaelan and his forces to die at Ostagar. And we were also assaulted in the tower and left for dead. But for some reason we wake up in here. So yeah, I remember you, the girl from the wilds.
I am Morrigan, lest you have forgotten, and we are in the wilds where I am bandaging your wounds. You are welcome, by the way. How does your memory fare? Do you remember Mother's rescue?
She rescued me? You mean from the tower?
Mother managed to save you and your friend, though 'twas a close call. What is important is that you both live. The man who was to respond to your signal quit the field. The Darkspawn won your battle. Those he abandoned were massacred. Your friend, he is not taking it well.
My friend? You mean Alistair?
The suspicious dim-witted one who was with you before, yes. He is outside by the fire. Mother asked to see you when you awoke.
Why does your mother want to see me?
I do not know. She rarely tells me her plans.
Well, my injury is severe.
Yes, but I expect you shall be fine. The Darkspawn did nothing Mother could not heal.
What about Alistair? Is he alright?
He is, as you are. I suppose it would be unkind to say he is being childish.
Very unkind. Those were his friends.
And you think they would encourage his blubbering? If so, they are not the sort of Grey Wardens the legends note.
I have some questions if you don't mind.
I do not mind. Take your time.
Are we safe here? Where are the Darkspawn?
We are safe, for the moment. Mother's magic keeps the Darkspawn away. Once you leave, 'tis uncertain what will happen. The Horde has moved on, so you might avoid it.
Why did your mother save us?
I wonder at that myself. But she tells me nothing. Perhaps you were the only ones she could reach. I would have rescued your king. A king would be worth a much higher ransom than you.
Coin is important to you? Out here?
Who says I would ransom for coin? Gold has its uses, I suppose, but power buys far more.
How did she manage to rescue us exactly?
She turned into a giant bird and plucked the two of you from atop the tower, one in each talon. If you do not believe that tale, then I suggest you ask Mother yourself. She may even tell you.
Are there any survivors besides us?
Only stragglers that are long gone. You would not want to see what is happening in that valley now.
Why? What's happening?
Are you sure you want me to describe it?
I wouldn't have asked if I didn't.
I had a good view of the battlefield. 'Tis a grisly scene. There are bodies everywhere, and Darkspawn swarm them, feeding, I think. They also look for survivors and drag them back down beneath the ground. I cannot say why.
So the survivors could be rescued?
If you are willing to run into the midst of the Horde, perhaps.
Why did Dain Logain abandon the king?
I do not know who this Logain even is. Perhaps ask Mother of it.
I think I've asked enough questions.
I agree. 'Tis time you speak with Mother, then be on your way.
Alright, so can we loot the place? Yes we can. Small round metal shield. Nothing else. Key required. Morrigan's done. And I think we... Yeah, let's go outside. Speak to Morrigan's mother. There's Alistair, he's okay.
See, here is your fellow Grey Warden. You worry too much, young man.
You're alive. thought you were dead for sure.
I'm fine. I appreciate your concern.
Oh, this doesn't seem real. If it weren't for Morrigan's mother, we'd be dead on top of that tower.
Do not talk about me as if I am not present, lad.
I didn't mean... But what do we call you? You've never told us your name?
Names are pretty, but useless. The chastened folk call me Flemeth. I suppose it will do.
The Flemeth? From the legends? Daveth was right. You're the Witch of the Wilds, aren't you?
And what does that mean? I know a bit of magic, and it has served you both well, has it not?
So why did you save us?
Well, we cannot have all the Grey Wardens dying at once, can we? Someone has to deal with these dark spawn. It has always been the Grey Warden's duty to unite the lands against the Blight. Or did that change when I wasn't looking?
It changed when most of them were slaughtered.
If you think small numbers make you helpless, you are already defeated.
But we were fighting the Darkspawn. The king had nearly defeated them. Why would Loghain do this?
Now that is a good question. Men's hearts hold shadows darker than any tainted creature. Perhaps he believes the Blight is an army he can outmaneuver. Perhaps he does not see that the evil behind it is the true threat.
The Archdemon.
What is this archdemon exactly?
It is said that long ago, the Maker sent the old gods of the ancient Tevinter Imperium to slumber in prisons deep beneath the surface. An archdemon is an old god awakened and tainted by darkspawn. Believe that or not, history says it's a fearsome and immortal thing, and only fools ignore history.
What could Terran hope to gain by betraying the king?
The throne? He's the Queen's father. Still, I can't see how he'll get away with murder.
You speak as if he would be the first king to gain his throne that way. Grow up, boy.
If Al Eamon knew what he did, he would never stand for it. The Landsmeet would never stand for it. There would be civil war.
Arl Eamon, the Earl of Redcliffe.
I suppose. Al Eamon wasn't at Ostagar. He still has all his men. And he was Kaelin's uncle. I know him. He's a good man, respected in the Landsmeet. Of course, we could go to Redcliffe and appeal to him for help.
Keep in mind that Loghain was also an honorable man.
The Arl would never do what Tairn Loghain did. I know him too well. I still don't know if Arl Eamon's help would be enough. He can't defeat the Darkspawn horde by himself.
We need the rest of the Grey Wardens.
I don't know how to contact them, or if they're even on their way. We need to do something now.
You have more at your disposal than you think.
Of course! The treaties! Grey Wardens can demand aid from dwarves, elves, mages, and other places. They're obligated to help us during a blight.
I may be old, but dwarves, elves, mages, this Arl Eamon, and who knows what else. This sounds like an army to me.
So can we do this? Go to Redcliffe and these other places and build an army?
I doubt it will be as easy as that.
And when is it ever?
It's always been the Grey Warden's duty to stand against the Blight. And right now, we're the Grey Wardens.
So you are set then, ready to be Grey Wardens.
I don't suppose you could offer any more help.
Now that you mention it, I do have one more thing to offer.
The stew is bubbling, Mother dear. Shall we have 2 guests for the eve, or none?
The Grey Wardens are leaving shortly, girl. And you will be joining them.
Such a shame. What?
You heard me, girl. The last time I looked, you had ears.
Thank you, but if Morrigan doesn't wish to join us...
Her magic will be useful. Even better, she knows the wilds and how to get past the Horde.
Have I no say in this?
You have been itching to get out of the wilds for years. Here is your chance. As for you, Wardens, consider this repayment for your lives.
Was this your idea all along?
Pardon me, but I had the impression that you two needed assistance, whatever the form.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but won't this add to our problems? Out of the wilds, she's an apostate.
If you do not wish help from us illegal mages, young man, perhaps I should have left you on that tower.
Point taken.
Mother, this is not how I wanted this. I'm not even ready.
You must be ready. Alone, these two must unite for Eldon against the Darkspawn. They need you, Morrigan. Without you, they will surely fail, and all will perish under the Blight. Even I.
Understand.
And you, Wardens, do you understand? I give you that which I value above all in this world. I do this because you must succeed.
She won't come to harm with us.
Allow me to get my things, if you please. I am at your disposal, Grey Wardens. I suggest a village north of the wilds as our first destination. It is not far, and you will find much you need there. Or, if you prefer, I shall simply be your silent guide. The choice is yours.
No, I prefer you speak your mind.
You will regret saying that.
Dear, sweet mother, you are so kind to cast me out like this. How fondly I shall remember this moment.
Well, I always said, if you want something done, do it yourself. Or hear about it for a decade or two afterwards.
Do you really want to take her along because her mother says so?
We need all the help we can get.
I guess you're right. The Grey Wardens have always taken allies where they could find them.
I am so pleased to have your approval.
Actually, I have some questions.
I may have answers. Ask.
Are you really Flemet's daughter?
'Twas she who raised me, and thus I consider her my mother, born from her womb or not. 'Tis what you meant, yes?
She's just going to stay here alone?
Mother was alone long before I came, and will be so long after I am dead. Such is her choice, though I suspect she would claim the choice was made for her.
Have you never been outside the wilds?
From time to time. I have been to the village I mentioned, watched its people, and pondered what curious beings they are. On occasion, I purchased goods from the village merchants. There I spoke with men a little. There they stared and knew me as an outsider. Mother wishes for me to expand the horizon of my experience beyond the wilds. Even she was not born here.
Is that what you want?
What I want is to see mountains. I wish to witness the ocean and step into its waters. I want to experience a city rather than see it in my mind. So, yes, this is what I want. Actually, leaving is harder than I thought, however. Perhaps Mother is right. It must simply be done quickly.
Tell me about this village to the north.
'Tis a small place of little consequence called Lothering. No more than a stop along your Imperial Highway where travelers purchase goods from local farms and smiths. I would go more often were it not for the town's chantry. It makes the village particularly intolerant and unpleasant for a stranger such as me.
A chantry? And they never in all this time thought that maybe you were a witch?
Of course they have. They even called out their Templars once. They found nothing.
Is there any reason to go to Lothering then?
I mention it for its tavern, where travelers gather with news from other places. 'Tis small enough that our appearance might go unnoticed. Beyond that, 'tis close, and I know the way.
How are we going to get past the Darkspawn?
The real question is how we are going to get your friend past the Darkspawn, is it not?
That's true. We can sense the Darkspawn. Conversely, they can sense us.
I don't sense any Darkspawn.
You won't right away. No. It takes time. We should be able to sneak past smaller groups, but larger ones, or particularly intelligent Darkspawn, will always detect us.
Mother has given me something else for them to smell instead as we pass by. It is important we head out of the wilds, however, not farther in.
The Darkspawn are camped farther in the forest?
They come from underground, like an eruption. They broke through deep within the forest, and that is where they will be most concentrated.
What skills do you have exactly?
I know a few spells, though I am nowhere near as powerful as Mother. I have also studied history and your Grey Warden treaties.
Can you cook?
I can cook, yes.
The most important question. Never mind him, you don't have to cook.
You missed your chance. Now it's charred rabbit from here on out.
I have no more questions.
Farewell, Mother. Do not forget the stew on the fire. I would hate to return to a burned-down hut.
Bah! 'Tis far more likely you will return to see this entire area, along with my hut, swallowed up by the blight.
All I meant was...
Yes, I know. Do try to have fun, dear.
Nice, so I got some approval for Morrigan and Alistair from the dialogue that I just got. And mostly during my gameplay, all my dialogue choices are chosen so that I could gain approval from my companions. They don't really reflect me as a person. I just wanna gain approval from my companions. I can still talk to Flemeth, so I'm gonna do
Have
that.
you not left yet? I hope you are not hanging about for some stew.
Interesting dialogue here. You could come with us, you know.
Huh, I prefer to remain here. Considering what the world has done to me, I have already done more than it deserves.
And what has the world done to you?
That is between the world and me. Your business is elsewhere.
But you're more powerful than we are, or so she claims.
It is not a matter of power. No one person in all of Thedas has enough power to stand against a blight. Were that the case, sending you two would be quite the jest. What is important is that you are both Grey Wardens. Your task is to unite the land, inspire its men, and turn them from their petty politics to face the archdemon. In that, you are more powerful than I by far. I am but an old woman whom the world has largely forgotten.
Could you answer some questions?
Questions. One would think a Grey Warden would be more interested in action.
Can I ask about your magic?
What good would it do you? You are no mage. It is sufficient that I have passed on my knowledge to Morrigan, and I pass her on to you.
Like a worn dress or an old pair of shoes.
Are you still here? You cannot give them away, apparently.
How long have you lived in the wilds?
Since before I was wrinkled and old. Ah, you may think it strange, but I was once young and beautiful, just as Morrigan is now. Yes, men desired Flemeth then, and some even killed for her.
That must have been a very long time ago.
You will need that smart mouth for more than asking me silly questions.
What will you do once we're gone?
Have a moment's peace for once.
I hear the peace of the grave is eternal.
This is the thanks I get for feeding you and putting up with you for this long. Bah! May your child one day treat you the same.
Feed me, she says. Without me, I swear, she shall be caked in dirt and eating tree bark inside of a month.
Do you have any advice?
About the Darkspawn?
About anything, really.
Then hear this. I laugh at a world full of stupid humans who ignore the Blight's evil and abandon their vigilance to chase mortal goals. Remember, it is up to you to destroy the Blight. Pray not for someone else to destroy it. It will always nip at your heels.
I have no more questions.
Then we are done. Now, if you will excuse me, I have some dinner to eat.
Great. So yeah, we can level up Alistair. Well, level up this guy. Okay, what can I get? I need 36 strength for 200 sweep. Stunning blows. Let's go with let's take threaten. Why not? And the stat points. Strength, strength, strength. I don't need expert coercion. I don't think so. Let's take the master combat training, why not? And as for you, Alistair, well, you're there now.
Yes?
Morgan, what gear do you have? Willpower, willpower. I do have a wand for you. Magic staff. Spell power. One magic is one spell power. And mental resistance. Okay. You have Drain Life, Disorient, Horror, Mind Blast, Cold Weapon, okay. Alright. Well, I can give her this hat. And I can also give her these. Vestments of the seer. Nice. Do I have any other stuff for her? Yeah, you can use this. Willpower 6 spell power, and then I have Amulet of the War Mage. Yes, Amulet of the War Mage. Okay, alright. Yeah. Yeah, this is fine for now. I feel like I'm missing something. But I'm not sure what. Well, fuck it. Let's go. And now, since we have access to the world map, we can travel. But right now we can only travel to Lothering. And we can also set up a party camp, which will heal any injuries that I sustained in combat. And also it allows me to talk to my party members. Get some personal information about them that you can't get anywhere else. So let's do that. Let's talk.
What do you need?
Do you want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
He was like a father to you, I understand.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the Blight and everything. I'm sorry.
No harm done, Alistair.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
He had you.
I suppose he did. It probably sounds stupid, but part of me wishes I was with him, in the battle. I feel like I abandoned him.
No, I understand completely.
Of course. I'd be dead then, wouldn't I? It's not like that would make him happier. I think he came from Hyeva, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime. See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
My entire family was murdered just recently.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me to forget. Here I am going on and on about Duncan, and you... I am so sorry. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Maybe I'll go to Higher with you when you go.
I'd like that. So would he, I think.
Nice, I got 6 approval for Alistair just by that. Let's talk to Morrigan now. Find out about her.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Did you grow up in the Kokari Wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
You can probe me anytime.
Beg pardon then while I jump for joy. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
And you remained unnoticed.
For the most part, Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Depending on my dialogue choice might affect approval negatively or positively. Where you heard... Of some failure with someone, so bold was I yet, there was much of Flemeth could never have prepared me for. You must have looked quite the fool.
I think not. I am no frail flower.
Alright, I
wilting
messed
at the
up.
first sight. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened...
I should have
peasant
complimented
travelling
her.
with a merchant
Very
caravan.
daring of you.
He pointed and gasped, and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
That was quick thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
Touching. Like a handshake?
To begin with, yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I find it an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Well, I'm glad it worked out this way at least.
Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Alright, so I got only one approval point. I messed up one dialogue choice, I believe, and that kinda penalizes me on that. I could have probably gotten more, but because I messed up, I didn't get. I can talk to Doggy.
You little...
What?
Your furry friend here took offense at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
Well, he's a war dog.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me.
Yeah. The dog always stays at 100 approval, so whatever you do. Okay, so we've talked a lot, so I think this would be a good time to save the game. And continue next time, so see ya then.